The first slide shows the current alignment of Highway 101 going through Willits. The red dots with green circles around them indicate traffic lights, and the middle traffic light at Highway 20 is the current problem and causing the congestion during peak hours in Willits. Brook Trails residents must currently pass through Willits to get to Brook Trails, as shown here, going through the five traffic lights, and also all the Highway 20 traffic is going through Willits as well. The proposed bypass alignment would go around the city of Willits, allowing interregional traffic to bypass the city of Willits and reduce travel time. The current alignment of the bypass would not take Highway 20 traffic off of Main Street, and so Highway 20 traffic would still have to go through Willits to access Fort Bragg. Also, the bypass may provide a second way for Brook Trails residents to get home. They would have to get off of the northern interchange and double back to Sherwood Road and then go up to Brook Trails. This talk will cover three specific items of the bypass. First is the traffic projections that Caltrans used. Second would be local traffic that may use the bypass. And third is a discussion of level of service. This is Table 3-4 out of the Willits Environmental Impact Statement done in 2002. This is the draft Environmental Impact Statement. And for option J1T, Caltrans projected a peak hour traffic of 1,350 vehicles per hour projected out 20 years to the year 2028. We believe that based on historical data and reasonable growth projections that the number of 1,350 is way too high. And the next two topics, traffic projections and local traffic on the bypass, will show why that number is so inflated. So the first thing is traffic growth. In July of 1998, Caltrans did a traffic study, including an origin-destination study and a number of traffic counts, and they concluded that 471 vehicles per hour would be the interregional traffic. In other words, with destinations north and south of Willits, not within Willits or Brook Trails or Highway 20. So they calculated from their studies that 471 vehicles per hour, shown here on this graph, would be the interregional traffic as of 1998. They then projected that out 20 years through the year 2028 using a two-stage growth projection. From 1998 to 2008, which was the year the bypass was originally thought to be done, they used a 2.3% per year growth factor. From 2008 to 2028, they used a 1.4% growth factor, and that resulted in an interregional traffic number of 721 vehicles per hour, again, projected out 20 years of travel on the bypass. We believe these projections are way too high based on historical traffic data and also based on some socioeconomic factors. And another thing we've realized is that traffic north of Willits, which we believe to be the most representative of interregional traffic, is very different from traffic anywhere else on Highway 101. And this is indicated by this graph. This shows the average annual daily traffic from the Marin-Sonoma County line to the Mendocino-Humboldt County line in 1992. As you can see from the graph, there's huge spikes of traffic down around Santa Rosa, as you would expect. The traffic declines as you get into Mendocino County, and when you get to Willits, which is shown by the red bar, traffic basically declines considerably. Now looking at traffic data from 2000, this is shown by the magenta line here. You can see fairly significant traffic increases all the way to Willits. But once you get to Willits and get north of Willits, traffic either flatlines or in some cases declines. This trend continues if you look at the latest set of data, which is 2011, shown by the green line here. Again, there's some substantial traffic increases around the Santa Rosa area and even into Mendocino County. But as with the other data, once you get north of Willits, traffic either declines or has stayed absolutely flat for 20 years now. So if you use the north end traffic as representative of what interregional traffic is likely to use the bypass, and you calculate the interregional traffic on the bypass from the north end data, you get a historical traffic trend that looks like this. Again, this is based on 20 years of actual data. The blue line shows that during this 20-year period, traffic has either declined or remained flat and recently declined dramatically. There's only been 1 year in this whole 20-year data set, around 2003, 2004, where traffic has ever increased on north of Willits. And again, this is traffic likely to use the bypass. So based on historical data alone, we see no reason, no trend that would indicate that a 2.3 or a 1.4% per year traffic growth projection is justified. We also wanted to look at a number of socioeconomic factors to see if they would indicate a likelihood of this high growth rate that Caltrans projected. So we looked at a number of things, such as Mendocino County population over the last 20 years. From the magenta line here, you can see that the Mendocino County population has grown at an average rate over the entire 20-year period of 0.27% per year, nowhere near the roughly 2% per year that Caltrans is using. In fact, in the last 10 years, Mendocino County population has remained essentially flat. If you look at Humboldt County population actually has seen a steady increase over the last 20 years at roughly 0.5% per year rate. Again, nowhere near the 2% rate that Caltrans is using. Willits population has actually declined in the last 20 years at about 0.22% per year. Brook Trail's population has seen some significant increases in the past. These are single-family residents now, not numbers of people. Until about the year 2002, Brook Trail's number of homes in Brook Trails was increasing fairly substantially. However, in 2002, a water moratorium was put in place, and that stopped any new construction. The water moratorium was due to an inadequate water supply, and overcoming that to allow significant new construction is a huge hurdle that Brook Trails may never overcome, and if they do, it will be decades in the future. Statewide driving trends are shown by this graph in millions of vehicle miles. There was an increase in statewide driving trends up till about 2005 or 2004, when the trend flattened off and then declined from about 2006 to the present. Again, we see no socioeconomic or trend data to indicate that the rate of growth Caltrans is using is justified. We think the most realistic projection would be that at some point the traffic likely to use the bypass would rebound to pre-recession levels. And to be a little bit conservative and account for any growth that may occur, we think that a 1% per year growth rate is a reasonable projection to use. That would result in an interregional traffic on the bypass of 565 vehicles per hour rather than Caltrans' value of 721 vehicles per hour.